I'm Officer Jack Malone, badge 4279, 19 years deep on the force, and these streets are my territory, carved out through sweat, late nights, and a gut that's never steered me wrong. You don't make it this long without a sixth sense for trouble. Honed by every riot I've faced, every suspect I've pinned down, every crowd I've dispersed. The college campus, with its manicured lawns and ivy-covered halls, might look like a haven of learning, but it's a powder keg protest. Agitators, kids with megaphones who think they can rewrite the world with their chants. And let's be straight, it's usually the same crowd lighting the fuse. Young black women, loud and defiant, always with that edge, like they're daring you to step in. I don't make the rules, I just keep the peace. And that's what I've done for nearly 2 decades. It's a Saturday afternoon, May 10, 2020, just past 2 p.m. The air thick with the scent of freshly cut grass and the undercurrent of tension that hangs over every protest. I'm on duty near the quad, part of a line of officers in riot gear, deployed to manage a student demonstration against tuition hikes. The scene's a mess, hundreds of kids waving banners, chanting education for all. In unison, their voices bouncing off the brick buildings. There's a mix of students, professors with clipboards, and hangers-on. But my eyes lock on her, a young black woman, maybe 20, standing near the front, megaphone in hand, leading the chants with a fire that cuts through the noise. She's got dreadlocks swinging with every gesture, a university hoodie emblazoned with the school logo, jeans faded from wear, and a presence that commands attention. My gut's screaming, she's trouble. Maybe the ringleader. Maybe the one pushing the crowd past peaceful into chaos. I've seen it too many times. A spark like her can turn a rally into a riot. I adjust my riot gear. The weight of my badge and baton, a familiar comfort. A reminder of my duty to hold the line. I step forward, my boots crunching on the grass, and shout, drop the megaphone. Step back, now. My voice booms over the chants. A command honed by years of practice. She lowers the megaphone, her movements deliberate, and turns to face me. Her eyes steady, no flicker of fear or hesitation. That's my first red flag. Nobody looks at a cop like that unless they're hiding something. Or worse, think they're untouchable. I close the distance, my gear clanking with each step, letting her feel the full weight of my authority. What's your name? What are you doing riling up this crowd? I demand, my tone sharp, cutting through the din. Amara Jackson, she says, her voice clear and calm despite the chaos swirling around us. Like she's addressing a classroom instead of a cop in riot gear. I'm a student here, leading this peaceful protest to demand fair tuition rates. Peaceful. Huh? I smirk, not buying it for a second. Looks like you're inciting a riot with that megaphone. I snap, holding out my gloved hand, my patience thinning. She sighs, a quiet, almost resigned sound, and reaches into her pocket with a slow, measured motion. Pulling out a student ID card, Amara Jackson, 20, sophomore at the university, majoring in political science. I run it through my portable scanner, expecting a flag arrests, affiliations, something to back up my gut. Nothing. Clean as a whistle. Doesn't mean she's innocent. Though, my instincts are still buzzing. Louder now. Telling me she's more than she seems. You're out here disrupting traffic. Causing a scene, I say, tossing the ID back. Letting it drop to the grass so she has to bend to pick it up. What's with the megaphone? You think you're running this show. She straightens, brushing grass off the card. Her eyes meeting mine with an intensity that unnerves me. I'm exercising my constitutional right to free speech. Officer, she says, her voice firm but controlled. We're advocating for students who can't afford these hikes peacefully. Free speech. I laugh. The sound harsh and grating against the rhythmic chants. Turn around. Hands on the wall. I order, pointing to the brick facade of the nearest building. My hand resting on my cuffs. She hesitates. Just a beat. And that's my second flag. Officer, this is unnecessary, she says. Her voice steady, carrying a note of authority that sets my teeth on edge. I'm cooperating fully. That tone calm, commanding pisses me off. Nobody talks to a cop like that unless they're testing me. Trying to flip the script. Hands up. Now. I repeat. Stepping closer. My shadow falling over her. She complies. Slow and deliberate. Placing her hands on the wall. Her posture composed. Like she's used to standing her ground in front of power. I pat her down. Rough and thorough. Checking every pocket. Every seam. Looking for anything to justify the stop drugs. Weapons. Anything. Nothing, just a phone. A notebook with protest notes. A laminated pass tucked into her hoodie. I pull it out. Curious. And flip it open. A Secret Service ID. Amara Jackson. Protected person. Daughter of President Eleanor Jackson. My brain stumbles. A cold shock hitting me. The president's daughter. Nice prop, I say, smirking, tossing it back onto the grass. My voice dripping with skepticism. You expect me to believe you're the president's kid? Out here playing activist. She turns slightly, hands still on the wall, and looks at me, her eyes sharp and unyielding. I am Amara Jackson, daughter of President Eleanor Jackson, she says, her voice low but resolute. I'm a student here, exercising my rights, and you're detaining me for leading a protest? The president's daughter. My gut twists, a knot of doubt and defiance, but I double down. She's black, loud, and that's enough for me to question her story. We'll sort this out at the station, I say, slapping the cuffs on, the metal clicking with a finality that echoes in my ears. I'm in control. Or at least I tell myself I am. As I march her toward the cruiser parked at the edge of the quad, cuffs tight around her wrist, my hand gripping her arm through the riot gear. The crowd erupts, students shouting, "Let her go," and "Racist cop." Their voices a tidal wave of anger. Phones out, lenses glinting like predators circling prey. She's the president's daughter. Someone yells, and the chant picks up, spreading like wildfire. I ignore them, shoving her into the back of the cruiser. The door slamming with a heavy thud that reverberates across the lawn. You're under arrest for inciting a disturbance, I say, my voice steady despite the unease creeping up my spine. Her voice cuts through the closed window. Calm but firm. You're making a grave error. Officer. That bugs me. Most would be panicking, pleading, their voices cracking with fear. But she's too composed, too certain, like she's already 3 moves ahead. I radio dispatch. Reporting a female suspect. 20. Detained for inciting the disturbance. My tone clipped as I try to focus. My hands grip the wheel as I pull away. But my gut's nagging. That Secret Service ID burning a hole in my mind. I push it down. Could be a fake. A student prank to throw me off. A tactic I've seen before. In the rearview mirror, she's sitting upright, staring ahead. No fear. No sweat. Just a resolve that sets my nerves on edge. That's not normal. I've hauled in plenty protesters, troublemakers, kids with too much attitude, and they all crack eventually. Their bravado melting under the weight of cuffs in a holding cell. Not this girl. She's poised, like she's addressing a summit in her head, waiting for the right moment to speak. You got anything to say? I ask, my voice gruff, trying to rattle her, to get some kind of reaction I can use. She meets my eyes in the mirror, her gaze unflinching, and says, "My detail will handle this." Detail. My stomach drops as I catch sight of black SUVs pulling up behind us. Tires screeching. Secret Service agents spilling out. Badges flashing in the afternoon sun. We're back at the precinct. And it's absolute chaos. Agents barking orders, demanding access. Their presence turning the place into a command center. I march her inside, cuffs glinting under the fluorescent lights, and sit her in holding, the metal chair creaking as she settles. The desk sergeant, Daniels, looks like he's seen a ghost. His face pale as he mutters to me, "That's Amara Jackson. Malone, daughter of President Jackson. You've got 10 minutes before Sue descends on us." My blood runs cold, a chill creeping up my spine. I grab my phone, fingers trembling. And there it is, a video. Crystal clear. Posted by a student who'd been filming from the crowd. Me cuffing her, barking orders, my voice dripping with contempt. Her voice steady. "I'm the president's daughter, and you're detaining me without cause." The video's got 2 million views in under an hour. Hashtags Amara Jackson and racist cop trending hard. My name a firestorm. Badge 4279 plastered across the internet like a scarlet letter. The precinct's a war zone now. The air thick with tension and the sound of radios crackling. Daniels pulls up the video on his tablet, showing me the stats views climbing past 3 million. Comments pouring in like a flood. Racist cop arrests the president's daughter. Malone's finished. Free Amara. My name's everywhere. A trending topic for all the wrong reasons. Badge 4279, a symbol of everything wrong with the system. The door swings open with a bang, and a team of Secret Service agents storms in, led by a woman in her 40s. All business. Her suit crisp despite the chaos. "Where's Amara Jackson?" she demands, flashing a credential. "I'm Agent Carter. Lead on her detail. You've detained the daughter of President Eleanor Jackson. And this is a national incident." My stomach drops. A hollow pit opening up inside me. Amara's out of cuffs now, standing with Agent Carter, her presence filling the room like she's about to address a nation. "Officer Malone." she says, her voice low. Steady. You should have asked who I was before you escalated this. Her eyes aren't angry, just disappointed. And that cuts deeper than any insult. Sharper than the cuffs I put on her. Agent Carter's rattling off terms: unlawful detention, federal charges, diplomatic fallout, her voice a legal barrage that makes my head spin. Daniels pulls me aside, his voice a harsh whisper. You arrested the president's daughter. Malone. She's a national figure. And that video's on every news site from here to D. The chief's on the phone with the White House. And you're done. I'm sent to the sergeant's office, and it's a massacre. You detained Amara Jackson for protesting. My sergeant roars, slamming his desk so hard the coffee mug shatters. Black liquid pooling on the floor. She's the daughter of President Eleanor Jackson, the first black woman president, and you turned a campus rally into an international scandal. That video's at 5 million views. The White House is livid, and the governor's demanding your head. I try to explain disturbance. My gut telling me she was trouble. The need to maintain order, but it's like shouting into a hurricane. Your gut's a career ender. Malone. He snaps, his face red with fury. You're suspended. Effective immediately. Badge. Gun. Now. I'm numb. My hands moving on autopilot as I hand over my badge. My service weapon. My identity as a cop. The precinct's a blur as I walk out. Cops avoiding my eyes. Whispers trailing me like a bad smell. I'm home. Collapsing onto my couch. A bottle of whiskey in hand. An absolute nightmare. The video's on every platform: CNN, BBC, MSNBC, even Al Jazeera covering it with headlines like, President's daughter arrested at protest sparks outrage. Amara's face is everywhere: White House events, campus rallies, smiling with her mother at state dinners. Mine's the villains. Captured mid-rant. A racist cop who cuffed the president's daughter for exercising her rights. I dig into Amara, desperate to find something, anything, to justify what I did. Amara Jackson, 20, sophomore at the university, majoring in political science. Daughter of President Eleanor Jackson, the first black woman to hold the office, elected in 2024 on a platform of equity and reform. She's an activist, leading student movements, a symbol of a new generation, with a foundation for underprivileged youth and a voice that's been heard at the United Nations. She's not just a student, she's a national icon. And I treated her like a common rioter. All because she was black, protesting with a megaphone. My stomach churns, a wave of nausea hitting me hard. But I tell myself it was just a bad call, a mistake any cop could make in the heat of a protest. The lie feels flimsy, crumbling under the weight of the truth staring back at me from every screen. The next week is a living hell. The videos everywhere, local news anchors dissecting my every move. National talk shows debating police overreach. Late-night comedians making me the punchline. Officer Malone thought he was busting a protester, but he got schooled by the president's daughter. The crowd's laughter stings, but it's nothing compared to the protests clogging the campus and city streets. Signs with Amara's face. My badge number scrawled in black marker. Chance of justice for Amara. Echoing through the quad. Student groups demand my firing. Civil rights organizations issue statements condemning police brutality. And the White House releases a video of President Jackson addressing the nation her voice steady as she vows to protect her daughter and push for accountability. I'm on desk duty, pushing papers in a back office, a ghost in my own precinct. My buddies keep their distance, like I'm a walking curse, their eyes sliding away when I pass. The sergeant barely speaks to me, just hands me more forms, his silence louder than any reprimand. I'm a pariah, my career bleeding out with every newscast. Every tweet, I check X obsessively. Each post a knife twisting deeper. Malone's a racist pig. Amara deserves better. Protect and serve. My ass. I want to scream that they're wrong, that I was just doing my job, maintaining order in a volatile situation. But the footage doesn't lie. I look like a bully, looming over her, voice dripping with contempt, while she stands there, calm, unshaken. The president's daughter caught in my crosshairs. I think about the other stops I've made over the years. Countless faces, countless names, all blending into a blur of suspicion. Black students, Hispanic activists, anyone who didn't fit my idea of order during a protest. I told myself it was instinct, cop sense, a tool to keep the streets safe. But now I see it for what it was. Bias, dressed up as duty, ingrained over 19 years. I never questioned it, never thought twice, until now, until Amara Jackson, until the whole world saw me for what I am, a cop who let prejudice dictate his actions. I talked to my partner, Eddie, over beers at a dive bar, hoping for some kind of validation. He's old school like me, been on the force 20 years, and he shrugs it off, sipping his Bud Light. Kid was stirring the pot. Malone, you did what you had to. These protesters always play the victim when it suits them. But his words feel hollow, like a script we both recited too many times. Eddie doesn't see the White House, the Secret Service, the national stage Amara commands. He's still stuck in the US versus them mindset. Same as I was. I want to argue, to tell him it's not that simple anymore. That I've crossed a line I can't uncross. But I don't. He wouldn't get it. I'm not sure I do either. Not fully. At home, I'm alone. The whiskey bottle, my only companion. My badge on the table like a relic of a life I've lost. I think about my son, grown now, living across the country. His last call a strained "take care" months ago. What would he think, seeing me in that video? Knowing I'm the cop who targeted the president's daughter. I think about my dad, another cop, his voice echoing in my head. Keep the streets clean. Jack, no matter who's out there. Clean. That's what I thought I was doing. But all I did was smear dirt on everything Amara's protests. My career. My name. I'm not sure who I am without the badge. But I'm starting to think I never really knew. The investigation's a formality. But it's a brutal one. Internal Affairs has everything my body can. The student's video. Amara's statement. Calm and precise. Laying out my violations like a legal brief. Unlawful arrest. Discriminatory conduct. Excessive force. All of it documented with the weight of her status. My union rep tries to fight officer discretion. Public safety. The need to control a protest, but it's a losing battle. The department's under siege. The city council's facing pressure from the federal government. and I'm the sacrificial lamb. The termination notice comes down swift and final. No pension, no benefits, just a letter telling me to clear out my locker and vanish. 19 years on the force, and it's over in a single memo. X is a graveyard of my career, my name forever tied to Amara's story. A footnote in her rising legacy. She's on every channel, speaking at rallies, launching a national campaign for student rights. Her face on magazines covers with the tagline, "Voice of a Generation." I'm the villain. The racist cop who cuffed the president's daughter for protesting. A cautionary tale in her movement. Protests continue across the country. Students and activists holding signs with Amara's face. My badge number scrawled in black. A symbol of everything they're fighting against. The White House pushes for police reform. The president vows justice. And the world moves on without me. I pack up what's left of my life and move to a small town 2 hours away, taking a job as a night security guard at a warehouse. It's quiet, lonely, a far cry from the adrenaline of the cruiser, the pulse of the quad. I'm just Jack now. No badge, no power, just a guy with regrets piling up like unpaid bills. I start reading books on race, on protest movements, on the cultural history I never bothered to learn. It's like swallowing glass. Each page a painful reminder of my ignorance. But I need to understand why I failed. How I became this person I don't even recognize anymore. I learn about the history of Black activists in America, the way they've been targeted, harassed, arrested students like Amara, who've had to fight for every voice, every march, only to be stopped by bumps like me for exercising their rights. I read about systemic bias, about the militarization of police at protests, about the way profiling has been baked into law enforcement for decades. It's a mirror, and I hate what I see, but I can't look away. I think about my training, the locker room talk, the way we'd laugh about keeping them in line. I was part of it, a cog in a machine I never questioned. And now that machine spit me out. Therapy's a new thing for me. A woman named Dr. Patel who makes me unpack my dad's lessons. My anger. The fear I never named. You saw what you were taught to see, she says during one session. Her voice calm but firm. What do you see now? I'm not sure, but I'm trying to figure it out. I start journaling, writing down every stop I can remember, every face, every name, trying to make sense of the damage I've done. It's a long list, longer than I expected, and it keeps me up at night. The guilt like a weight I can't shake. I write a letter to Amara, pen and paper, my handwriting shaky from disuse. I apologize for the confrontation, for the cuffs, for the assumptions I made, for the man I was that afternoon. I tell her I'm trying to change, to be better, to unlearn the things that led me to her. I don't send it. It's not for her, it's for me. A step toward accountability. A way to face the truth I've been running from. I keep the letter in a drawer. A reminder of the work I still have to do. I volunteer at a community center in my new town, teaching kids about their rights. The irony as thick as the dust on the old chalkboard I use. I'm no lawyer, but I can explain a free speech. Show them how to navigate the system safely. They don't know my past. And I don't tell them. It's not about redemption. It's about doing something right. About honoring the student I wronged in some small way. The kids are bright, curious. Their questions filling the room. And for the first time in months, I feel a flicker of something like hope. I drive by the campus sometimes, not to patrol, just to remember. I see students like Amara, young women with megaphones, heads high, futures unfolding with purpose. I don't feel that itch anymore. That need to stop them, to judge them, to assert my control. I see people now, not threats, not stereotypes. It's not enough, not by a long shot, but it's a start. I think about my dad's voice, fading now, replaced by something new, something I'm still learning to hear. Amara's out there, still leading, still inspiring. I saw her on the news, speaking at a national rally. Her voice steady, her presence commanding. Her mother at her side. She doesn't talk about me, doesn't need to. I'm a footnote in her story, a lesson she didn't ask to teach. I owe her more than a letter, more than regret. I owe her a world where she can protest without a cop like me, assuming she's less. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. One day, one truth, one step at a time.